Good morning, students. Today I will speak on the topic Heal Your Mind. Where is the mind? Is it in our brain? So let me try to answer that. We all know about brain and its function. In today's terminology, if we can call the brain as a hardware, then in that case, the mind is the software. Mind is the operating system that gathers, stores, and manages information using the massive processing resource of the brain. Mind is the conscious product. It has two aspects: the cognitive aspect, which is related to thinking, it is related to perception, judgment, intelligence, memory, language, and thought. And the non cognitive aspect, which is some important aspect, which is an important aspect, and it deals with emotions and instinct. Mind is the we can say it is the epicenter of what we are, how we will be in the future. Updating our mind is essential. Using antivirus is equally essential. It requires deleting some file, quarantining, like we have to quarantine the corrupted file, we have to store some file, we have to replace some file. Our mind requires constant monitoring. Thus, the topic for today's lecture is Heal Your Mind. Heal Your Mind. Yes, I am Dr. Maitri Shaha. I am the head department of botany from VPM BN Bandodkar College of Science. We are responsible for our experiences in our daily life. Our thoughts create our future. Everyone suffers from guilt, from self-hatred. They feel that I'm not good enough. It is only a thought and it can be changed. Anger, resentment, criticism, guilt causes stress, and stress causes disease. Life is very simple. What we get is what we do, what we give, that is what we get in return. We make life complicated and we create situations where we give the power to others to destroy our equilibrium. Universe totally supports our thought, and they say yes, and it says yes to all our thoughts. We think of something and the universe tells Tathastu. I shared a Google form yesterday with a few questions. My first question was, do you have friends? Number of students, around 40 to 45 students have answered the query, and they have given almost 95.1% of the students told yes, they have friends, and around 2.4% students have categorically told that they do not have friends. Some students have told maybe I have few people whom I can call them as friends. So the question is, exactly who is a friend, and what makes them a friend? I have tried to go a little bit deeper, and I have tried to find out few points. Do you feel you are superior to your friends? Now, we have to understand that our mind is always working. It's always busy. We have some thought process and we have certain beliefs. So to answer my question, you must have thought a lot, and about 7.3% of the students told me yes, they feel they are superior to their friends, and about 36.6% of the students said, we are not superior, my friends are superior to me. And then around 26.8% of the students told that maybe maybe the students are, some of my friends are superior to me. And there is some 39% of student, a large chunk of the students felt, yes, for some matters, my friends are superior to me, but then I am also equally superior for some of the other characters. So I have been thinking about it, and we can see there are some positive and some negative thoughts. Do you know that human being thinks about 60,000 thoughts per day, and that is approximately 50 thoughts per minute, and 85% of the thoughts in human brains are negative thoughts. So we think around 42 thoughts which come to our mind per minute are the negative thoughts. Now, my next question to the students were, do you feel you're superior because you have superior to your friends because of these some few characters I had given? Like, are you good in studies? Maybe you dress well, because of which you feel you're superior. Maybe you're better looking, that's why you feel superior. And 7.3% said, yes, I feel superior because I'm good in studies. 36.6% students said, no, I don't feel I am superior. And 26.8% of students said, maybe maybe I am superior. Let me explain. Very nice thought. When you say, yes, my friends have quality that are very good, actually it is your aura. Actually, it is your positivity. It is your positive energy. It is your goodness that makes you say that, and it is an indicator of a healthy mind. So, the next question to my student was that, do your friends make you feel inferior due to following reasons? So I had given them a set of questions and set of answers in which I had included studies, dress, looks, family status, money, and yes to all, no to all, maybe. So the students were 4.9% of the students said, yes, some students are good in studies, some of my friends are good in studies, so that's why I feel I'm inferior. Some of them said they dress better, so that's why I have got an inferiority complex. 7.3% of the students said, yes, they look better than me, that's why I have this inferiority complex. There were many students who said, almost 26% of the students said, no, it was not because of these reasons we feel that we are inferior. There were some students who said, around 14.6 students said that maybe, just maybe, these are the reason for which we feel inferior. So if it is a negative thought, then in that case, the universe says, Tathastu. These thoughts will stay with you and it will happen. If you have a positive thoughts, the universe will say Tathastu, and these positive thoughts will build your aura, it will build your positivity, and you can become a better person. Now, it is your perception and your state of mind. You cannot blame your friends for your inferiority complex. So, it is my advice to all the students that the first step to heal your mind is to love yourself. The first step to heal your mind is to respect yourself. Loving ourselves works like a miracle in our life. You want miracle in your life? Then take a good look at yourself. Believe me, we have the same negative thought every minute, every hour, every day, year after year. The belief does not change. We have been burdened by these negative thoughts right from our childhood. And we have been carrying these negative thoughts with us throughout our childhood till we have become adult. And this is what we refuse to throw away. These negative thoughts are the one which we refuse to throw away. Every day, the 85% negative thoughts which we think are the repeats of which is happening every day. Isn't it time that we stop this? Isn't it time to stop all the criticism? Criticism, self-criticism never changes a thing. Why don't you refuse to criticize yourself? When you criticize yourself, your changes are negative. And when you approve of yourself, your changes are positive. When you think that you love yourself, it's a beautiful sensation. I love this video which tells love yourself, be nice to yourself, believe in yourself, and of course this is the best safest cookie for yourself. It is fun to be happy. You can be happy if you have such kind of positive thoughts. Yes, love yourself, believe in yourself, and save a cookie for yourself. Now, I again asked few more questions to my students, and they have replied it positively. And they have given me a big report. I asked them, okay, write about what you don't like about yourself, the self-criticism. It was self-criticism. I got so many answers. I have picked up few. One of the student writes, nothing. I am the best. I like the way I am. Now that is positivity. That is confidence. It's very good. It builds the aura around the student. Another student writes, I didn't like it when sometimes I misbehaved. I did not listen to my mother. Now, that is something he acknowledges, that he misbehaved and he has not listened, he did not listen to his parents. Another child writes, I am angry on small things. I love myself a lot, but I am short-tempered. I am emotional, and to become a man from a boy, I need to control both my anger and emotion. Now, I can understand you need to control your anger, but why do you need to control your emotion? I wonder that. I cannot take a stand for myself. Another student writes, I hate the way I appear. My body is so depressing. Trusting everyone very easily. Another child writes that I don't like my dressing style. I don't like myself because I'm stubborn, I'm lazy, and I'm always angry. And another child writes, I don't like myself because I lack confidence. And here is one student who writes, I do not like my attitude. Now, what kind of attitude do you have? Because attitude helps. But what is this attitude are you talking about which you do not like? There is a student who has written that I a self-criticism which tells that she feels bad because she makes mistake while speaking in English. She hates public speaking, and there is a student who tells that he or she cries a lot. So that is a criticism which the student has written about. And there are plenty of students who have written what they don't like about themselves is that they get angry easily. They believe in on others who don't believe others. They are lazy, and they are lazy, and yes, they are very rude. So these are the things they don't like about themselves. They are aware of these thoughts, and that is a positive step. The next question which I asked was, write about what you don't like about your family, especially about your parents. So I got some very interesting result. And one student writes, there are many, out of which I have taken out few. I like each and everything about my mom, but both of them are paranoid over little things whenever I go out of the house. There is one student who tells that my parents are over possessive. They do not leave me alone. There is one student who writes that my parents are possessive. I am disappointed. They always compare me with other students. There is one student who writes, if anything is said, they react before they understand what I am saying. Now, this is one common complaint. And a student writes, कि they don't allow me to go anywhere easily. They are overprotective. They refuse anything immediately. They don't understand it, and later on they say yes. So there are many emotions which can be seen over here. There is a student who tells, in my family there are two extremes. My one is with immense love for other, and the other one has got immense hatred for the other. There is lot of misunderstanding, there's lot of hatred, crying, deteriorating health, mental depression. I am just tired between both this love and hate. I don't agree with it, and this is what I don't like about my parents. There are students who have written repeatedly that parents are over possessive. They have put lot of restrictions, and there is one student who really cares, and he says they don't eat together. So this is again what the students have given me as a feedback. Now, all these things made me to put another question which came to my mind. What are you scared about? And write any 2 points. I limited it to 2 points because I knew that I will be flooded with answers. So I just wanted to have a glimpse of what really was the situation. Now, here I find that most of them are scared of losing their family. They are scared of losing their friends. They are scared that they are scared about their career. They are scared that they will lose someone due to death. They are scared of their future life. They have this self doubt regarding financial matter. There are students who are scared about not being able to speak in English, and there are students who have confusion in taking decision. They are scared to take decision because taking wrong decision in my life may happen. So that's why they don't take decisions. So they are scared of all these things, and this seems to be common in most of the students. They are scared of failing. They are scared of their future. So when I went through all these response, then I had to tell them, I have, in that case, I have one suggestion. And that suggestion is, okay, you have these thoughts. Don't scare yourself. Stop terrorizing yourself with these thoughts. You know that we do cleansing of the house once in a while. Why don't we do mental cleansing? Let us examine all our thoughts. Ask yourself, is it true? Why do I have such kind of thoughts? Can I remove these thoughts? Are these thoughts really meaningful? Be gentle and be kind with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Try to think, why do you have such kind of thoughts? Can you learn some new way of thinking? Treat yourself in such a way that you can love yourself. Your aura will be positive if you start getting positive vibrations. And positive vibration is possible only if you have positive thoughts. Positive thoughts is possible only if you can remove the negative thoughts. You have to make a mental image. You should have a mental image which makes you happy. When you have that mental image which makes you happy, immediately switch to the scary thought and remove it and replace it with the happy thought. I think this is one method of cleaning your mental state, or we call it as mental cleaning, or just being kind to your mind. Yes, being kind to your mind, one of the thing which you have to do is self-hatred. You have to remove that. You have to stop it. Self-hatred is only hating your own thoughts. Gently change your thoughts. Believe it or not, we do choose our thought. And what we think, what we visualize, what we think will happen, or what we thought has happened, that can be changed. You can refuse to choose a negative thought. You can refuse the negative thought from entering your mind. Or if it is already there, then you can take it you can take out each thought and remove it from your mind. Now, for that, what is important? What is important is that you should understand your negatives. When I ask those questions, you must have seen some students have written a definite yes, some students have written a definite no. So they know that it is a definite yes or definite no. So it is either a positive thought or it is a negative thought. There are some students who have written maybe, so they are not sure. So it's very important for the students who say maybe. They have to first understand their thoughts. They have to then acknowledge their thoughts, and they have to distinguish their thoughts, whether it is a positive thought or whether it is a negative thought. You can create a reason for that thought. Why do you have that particular thought? So create a reason for that thought. You can acknowledge the reason and then find a new positive, and then slowly release the negative and fill it with the positive. And in this way you can heal your mind, and that is a very important step. So I just ask that, since you have so many insecurities, so where do you go with your insecurities? Do you speak to anyone about them? So I gave them a choice, and I found that large number of students said yes, they discuss it with their friends. There were students who said we discuss it with our parents. So I just went through their answers, and then I found this thing that yes, they are happy about their friendship. They are happy with their friends. And then I remembered this beautiful quote by APJ Abdul Kalam ji, where he said, "One best book is equal to 100 of good friends." I'll repeat it. One good book is equal to 100 of good friends, and one good friend is equal to a library. One good friend is equal to a library. What beautiful thoughts about a friend. A friend is really a friend. They say that a friend in need is friend indeed. Yes, you people go to your friends with your insecurities. And then many of the students have written that they speak about their insecurities to their parents. Now, from their response, I have come to know that they are very, very friendly with their mother. They love their mom. They say that my mother is good, My mother is a friend. My mother understands me. My mother is very positive. She feeds me. She smiles at me. She cares for me. She is a good friend. Then, my dear, where is your father? What about him? Most of you have lot of negative thoughts about your father. You equate your father to anger. You equate your father to all the negative thoughts that you have. Why is it so? When you are pointing a finger at your father, please remember you're pointing 4 fingers towards yourself. So you have plenty of negative thoughts. Actually, it is not that your father is negative. It is the equal number of negatives which are in you. It is your negativity which is being expressed towards your father. So if you feel that your father has, say, 10 negative points, give yourself a week and try to bring down those thoughts, try to change those negative thoughts to, say, 5 negative thoughts. That means you have converted 5 negative thoughts into positive thoughts, and you could not convert 5 negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So you are now with 5 negative thoughts about your father. After a month, after 6 months, try to remove 3 more negative thoughts about your father and replace it with your 3 more positive thoughts. And maybe after a year, you'll find, my dad is cool. Who said my father has any negative points? So the moment you start replacing all the negative thoughts about your father with the positive thought, that day you will say, my mom is a darling, but my father is really cool. And that is possible. You can do that the moment you start communicating with your parents, the moment you start replacing all the negativity. So how do you deal with your parents? Most of them said they converse. The conversation is the main thing by which they deal with their parents. So the first thing we say is that during to heal your mind, first you should forgive yourself. You should let go the past. What you did, you thought was at that particular time. Now you're growing, now you're changing. You will live life differently. You will try to, during this pandemic, you have to support yourself. Always find this support for yourself. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, try to talk to them, build positivity around you, remove all the negativity, and you will see you have this fantastic aura around you. And this beautiful aura makes people praise you, they come near you, they talk to you, and everything about you becomes beautiful. Now here, there is one very powerful work which you can do, that is the mirror work. Look into your eyes when you are in front of the mirror and tell yourself, I forgive myself for all the negative thoughts which I have. You talk to your parents, look into the mirror and try to forgive your parents. And then after that, take care of your body, take care of your mind. During this pandemic, please learn about nutrition, learn about exercise, cherish and look after the temple you live in, your body and your mind. Let your mind be healthy, let your mind be clean, let it be full of positivity. So what I like about it is, I always tell that have fun. Remember the things that gave you joy as a child. Incorporate them in your life. Find a way to express yourself joyfully. Laugh, rejoice, and the universe will say Tathastu. If you have any question, please ask them. This is my thank you dance for you. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody.